Thank you, my president. I'm really, really super excited to be in your midst. I don't know, can you see me on video?
Yes, we can see you.
You can see me?
Yes, please. We can see you.
Oh, awesome. How come I'm not seeing? I'm not expected to see me, right?
You should see you. I can see myself on the side.
Oh, what do I need to do? Just give me a moment. Let me try and understand a little bit about this screen. So, what am I so very proud of? I'm proud of being with the circle of women, you know, especially when we just call on you with us to the various places. You know, I'm proud of you all. Like my president already said, you know, hey, I started this journey a couple of years ago. Like I tell people, I'm just a young girl, you know, navigating my way through life, you know, and it's been a super exciting time. I just tell you a little bit about my journey, and the reason I'm going to tell you this is I want a lot of you all, male or female, that is on this meeting today to be excited for me and to also realize that there is no mountain too high. There is no valley too deep, no river too wide to cross. As long as you believe, as long as you just believe. Back in the days, way back in 1978, to the glory of God, I gave my life to Jesus, and I was in Form 3. I knew what I was doing, and I was happy doing it. And just shortly after that, my auntie, my mother's younger sister, gave me a book. It was called The Power of Positive Thinking. And one of the things that really resonated with me in that book, I read it again and again, was I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That resonated with me, and it stayed on with me for a long time. And to this day, you know, so young kid, a science student, got through secondary school, bam, one time, you know, I got all my papers and everybody was excited for me and I was ready to go. Then I got admission into University of Lagos, 1982, to study medicine. And my parents had just moved back to Benin. So I didn't truly follow up. By the time I came into UNILAG for my admission, I was late. They finished admission, they had done registration and all that. And then Dr. Phillips said, hey, Patricia, why don't you study physics? Then you can change afterwards. I said, okay, let me think about it. Then I looked at him again. I said, but I don't want to study physics. That's a single honor. I want to do something that is complete. He said, go think about it. You can do that. I said, oh no. Then I left in anger, went back home, went straight to Benin, and I was not happy. One day, my uncle came home and said, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to get admission into school. He said, in the meantime, you shouldn't be idle. Come work for me. So I started working for my uncle. I only spent 2 months there. I knew I didn't belong there, so I just walked away. I said, hey, I don't want anyone doing me a favor. Let me go find carve out my path. So one day I just left home. For those of you who know Benin City very well, I left my grandmother's place and I went to Ring Road. I'm not sure why I went there, but on this day I saw my older brother's school father, Uncle Festus. I said, Brother Festus, Patricia, what are you doing here? When I left home, I wasn't looking for a job. But once I saw Brother Festus, I said, oh, I'm looking for a job. So, well, Union Bank, they really doing an interview on Saturday. This was a Thursday. And I said, he said, can you work in the bank? I said, I can work anywhere. So I went with him to the bank, and they said, oh, they're doing exams on Saturday. Come join and write the exams. So I went in there, wrote my exams, and I passed. And they were like, you're young. What are you doing here? I said, did I pass? Yes, you passed. Okay. Interviews and everything, I got hired. While I was in the bank, this was in 1982, 83. And some of those guys there, they kept looking at me and said, you don't belong here. You need to get out of this place. I said, what is your problem? You're earning money, I'm earning money. Then every time I saw that they would stay late, and I kept wondering, why are these boys always staying late? So one day I told my mom, I said, you know what, when you drop me off in the morning, don't come back at 4 or 5. Come back around 7 or 7:30. So I joined in the gang of those who work late, and I was making more money over time and everything. So, and my journey started. One day, one of those guys just took a look at me and said, Patricia, you're getting out of here. You need to go to school. You don't belong here. Leave us alone. And there was an advert in newspapers I didn't even know. He got the forms. It was for Auchi Poly. He got the forms, filled out the forms, and said, sign here. I'm like, why are you asking me to sign here? He said, just sign here. So I signed. He submitted it. One day, he just came to the office and said, Patricia, we're going somewhere. Where? He said, we're going to Auchi. I said, well, okay, I have to tell my parents now. He said, okay. Oh, that's form you filled out. We need to go to Auchi. They, see the registrar and all that. So I said, okay. So I took my credentials with me, went with him to Auchi Poly, and we got there. Professor Otaru saw me and said, hey, you have all your papers. Why are you working in the bank? I said, well, I didn't gain admission into school. I got admission, but I was late, And then why are you working in bank? I said, well, while away time, I needed to be doing something. So all of that went on. Then the man said, you're a science student. You cannot be studying business administration. I said, I didn't even know it was business administration Olu put in that form. He sent me immediately to the HOD of civil engineering. First, he introduced engineering to me. He said, oh, you should study engineering. I said, okay. What's that? Then he said electrical, electronics. I said, oh, those are for electricians. Then he said mechanical engineering. I said, oh, mechanics. I don't want to be a mechanic. That was to tell you what I knew about engineering in my young age. Then he said civil engineering. I said, what are those? He said, oh, well, these ones, they build roads, bridges, and all that. I said, wow, exciting. I can do that. He said, you can do that? I said, sure, I can do that. Because back in the days in school, like now that we go to schools to tell children about engineering, those days is either doctors are coming in to talk to us, or pharmacists, or lawyers. Those were the 3 people that came to schools to speak with children. So in my mind, I was either going to be a doctor or a pharmacist. There was no other one until I got introduced. Then I went to the HOD. He conducted an exam for me, and I passed. And the man was like, wow, I thought they said you were working in the bank. I said, well, I've been working in the bank. Then the next thing, did the interviews, called Professor Taro immediately and said, hey, she passed. So the man said, congratulations. So I left. And guess what? This guy in the bank will not leave me alone. He was the one who bought the newspaper where my name was published. I was the only girl in the midst of all the boys. And he said, see, brought it to my desk. You're going to school. Start getting yourself ready. I'm like, get out of my face. Anyway, they took me in, and I said, okay, October 1983, I packed my bags and I went to school. So that was the beginning of the journey into engineering. So I finished OND. Thank God I made my mark out there. Finished OND, came straight back to Lagos. I said, who wants to be in that place? I'm not going. Came straight back, went to Unilag again, met, then he was Dr. Ibitapo Obe. I said, Doc, I'm ready now. He said, oh, Patricia, why didn't you do this diploma here? Why did you go somewhere else to go and, I said, so what does that mean in plain English? He said, oh, you have to go and do JAM. I said, I beg your pardon. Why can you say that to me? He said, yes, you should have done it here. I said, but you didn't tell me that. Anyway, had a fight with him, left, was not talking to anybody again. This was 1985. I was upset. Okay, I'm going to go get me a job. My friend Winifred introduced me into modeling. So I started making money again. Then corporate gifts. I made tons of money. I had money. So young, with plenty of money and foolish. So I did a lot of stupid stuff. But anyway, God had always been upon my life, so he would pull me out and say, okay, sit down, it's time to move forward. So another 2 years rolled by. One day I said, okay, Lord, this is not working. I need to get back to school. And the Lord opened my eyes and showed me what to do. And just really, I walked straight to Yaba Tech and met with the HOD with my credentials in my hand. Was like, okay, your results are great. Shouldn't have bringing you in. And that was it. The Lord showed me the way, followed the path, got into school again. Bam, 1989, 87, I was in school. By 1989, I graduated. I said, okay, now I'm going to service. So that's exactly what I wanted. And the good old ordered my steps. So youth service made it happen for me. I did not know anybody and bribe, but I told him what I wanted. I wanted to serve in Lagos. I didn't want to go to one of those interior places. And I did serve in Lagos. And I did get a posting. While in camp, I asked of the Lord, I said, I have all these places that I know that I can work with. A lot of my friends were going to the bank at that time because 1989, 1990, banks were the place to be. I said, Father, order my steps. I want to serve in a place where not only finish service, but be retained and work. I've never heard about mobile producing in Nigeria, but the Lord gave it to me, showed it to me in my dream. And I woke up the next day. I got to where we were passing out. They handed me my slip. It was mobile producing in Nigeria. I'm like, wow. I knew about mobile oil. I didn't know about mobile producing in Nigeria. In obedience, I went there and they said, oh, well, we've taken all the people, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, God made a way and I got taken back. The HR man said, go home, come back in 2 weeks. And in camp, I was ill. So I needed those 2 weeks to recover. And through his grace, I recovered. I did my youth service in mobile, finished that youth service. God helped me. I kept my eyes on the mark. I was diligent at work, making sure I, took care of my work, got to work early, not always at my desk, focus on my assignments, got them done as I went due. So I moved on. After youth service, I got contracts stay a little time, and the Lord also ordered my steps. There were interviews to be conducted. I went for that interview. There were 20 men, and this young girl topped the 20 men. And there began my story, and I got hired. So when I got hired, I got moved to QIT, which is our base in Naked, and I began working. In 6 months, I was among the best by approval rating. By the 1 year, the little star was shining. And I kept wondering, because I saw that they treated those folks who went through the university system differently. And I said, no, this is not where I want to be. This is not what I set out to be. So one day I was talking with one of my uncles, Dr. Lambert Akionbari. I come out of a family where you have so many professors and all the doctors and all that. So I said, and he said, well, you know, because you went to the School of Technology, they will always refer to you as a technician. I said, no way. I said, how many of these guys even have the kind of skill set I have? Oh, no. Anyway, I began another fight, fought with everybody. And one day I just said, Lord, there's got to be a way to this. I don't want to be like this. And making inquiries, I found out about University of Port Harcourt. And I got admitted to start from part 3. So what I did, I had to balance my work life and my school life. Every day I drove from Eket. I'll finish from work at 4 p.m. I drove from Eket to Port Harcourt every day because my classes started at 6 p.m. For 3 years I drove, and God crowned my efforts with great success. I made it 2-1. I immediately applied for my master's degree, and I made a distinction. And I calmed down and I said, yes, Lord, I thank you. So let me focus on other things. While in the office, you know, I kept getting different assignments. My work was outstanding and everything. And in 2000, I got transferred from QIT to Lagos. So my defense for my master's was March 2001. So everything just worked together for my good, to the glory of God. Then I moved on, kept working. In the course of work, I became contract engineer. Then after that, I became the liaison coordinator for my company. And I began to interact with DPR, NAPIMS and all that. Some of the presentations we went for, you know, I had these geologists come in and the reservoir engineers, and they start talking about the subsurface, the things that were going on there. I became curious. I'm like, okay, there's got to be, I need to know more about what's going on down there, so that when I go to those meetings, I can also participate well. I learned, you know, I picked up quickly from those meetings, but I wanted to understand more. You know, the geologists would come and talk about the various colors. Sometimes when we're talking with NAPIMS, the color of gas is red, or when we're talking with DPRO, it is a different color they use. So the color codings and everything, they were just, for me, that was intriguing, and I wanted to understand more. So one day I was speaking with my friend in NAPIMS, Biola Falawa. I said, hey, Biola, I need to do a PhD. And we planned out, we went off to Unilag. That was in 2008, sometime early 2008. We went there. The plan was to go start a PhD. So when we got there, we met with the HOD, and he said, oh, well, they haven't really started for geotechnics, you know, engineering, geology and geotechnics, but he would recommend that I did a master's in applied geophysics, so that when I start my PhD, I will have a clear understanding of what I'm doing. I said, well, you know, right now I wasn't doing any projects, you know, and I had a bit of time in my hands, so I could do that. Then I did that. So I got the master's in geoscience in 2011. And I immediately, just about that time, the PhD program was ready. So, and I began my PhD program February 8, 2012. And that journey was tedious, man. You know, Unilag, they don't make it easy for you at all. They don't make it easy. They really take you through through those those ropes. Went for field walks, did a lot of work. But you know, in all of this, I kept my eyes on the mark. I was excited. Every learning opportunity was an excitement for me. I never dropped the ball with my work. Neither did I drop the ball with my family life or with my Christian life. I had to learn to juggle several balls at the same time. And I just kept moving on. I had children I was raising, and everybody mattered. Every part of me was important. And I remained a dutiful wife. To this day, I still cook and serve my husband, so which is a great thing for me, and I love it. I still go to my Mushi market and rock, and which is for me a great thing. I still go to my 12 and rock with my people out there. Go to the fish market like I did this morning. I told my president, I said, I'm going to my fish market, or I have to go and buy my fish, you know, the seafood and all that. So for me, I'm just a woman, but I have been blessed by God to go through all of these steps. And it's been for me a great pleasure. It's been exciting. And in the course of life, I've met with different people in different schools who have been less, would I call them less privileged? They haven't just been able to. And I acquired a lot of children. Some were my classmates. Some were, you know, in lower classes. And with that, be able to help them through school. For me, going to school was it's an important part of any man's life, anybody's life, be you a girl or a boy. And in the course of time, you know, with APWEN taking me everywhere and helping me see things differently, I just told myself, every girl deserves an opportunity to go to school, especially when you're brilliant and you're science oriented and you're ready to do it. And that's what gave birth to me setting up a foundation called SIDE for girls in the study of science and engineering. And I thank all of my women and ladies that went up to Benin with me to go make that happen February 14th. We changed the narratives of Valentine's Day, and that was awesome. And over time, I just saw myself as an advocate for women, whether in the workplace or in my social life. Everywhere I went, any woman that has some talent or wants to do something, and I see that there is a genuine yearning to do something and to be a better person, trust me, I will support. And God has been gracious to me. It's made it possible for me to support as many women as possible. And for me, that's great joy. I have been so blessed by God to be able to do all of these things. I'm not one of those multi-millionaires, but I can tell you, I have a lot of people whose lives I have built. And God, in return, has used these people to bless me. So I am more blessed, you know, in giving than in receiving. And to this day, I feel so blessed to be in the midst of all of you women. And for the men who are joining us in this, I'm blessed. I'm one of your sisters, and I feel so happy when I hang out with, with the past presidents of NSA. I feel so blessed in their midst. You know, I see big brothers, I see, my brothers, I see people all around me. It's a blessing. It's been a great journey. But one thing I can tell you all today is don't lose sight of where you're going. Has the journey been smooth? It's been rough. But keep that smile on your face, because greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. Like I said from the beginning, there's no mountain too high for you to climb. No mountain. As long as you keep God on your side, you will always win. Don't think it's going to be easy. But please persevere. Ask God for enduring patience, because you'll be tested. The trials will come, but you must be strong enough to overcome. Thank you all for listening to me today. Hello, is anyone still there?
Yeah, we are here, ma. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we personally have been inspired by the little you have said, but I'm very sure there are so many more here within your mind that you're yet to let out. But I'm sure perhaps people might have questions, they might have certain mentoring or advice that's to help them in their profession, or also perhaps asking a question, how do you persevere, and things like that, and that will make you say more. So in case you have question, please, I would like us to use the raise hand feature. It's just on the chat section, and you can use the raise hand, and we'll give you the opportunity to say your question, or maybe you want to give a comment, or anything you just want to say. Please feel free to use the raise hand feature, and you have the opportunity to do that. We have the first person here, and her name is Engineer Imade. You can unmute yourself, please, and speak.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning,
I want to sincerely appreciate Engineer Dr. Patricia Opene-Odili for this wonderful and inspiration presentation. I want to ask her a question, ma. All through these years of wonderful experience, do you have any challenge? And how were you able to face them? I think I will stop there now, for now. Thank you. Hello?
Hey, thank you so much. You know, I would just say, like my Papa Bishop Oyedepo will always say, maybe they were there, I didn't even know. Challenges will always come, even in the best of environment. Should you keep your focus on those challenges? The answer is no. Keep your eyes on the goal. Like they will always say in Yoruba, Entamba noja lankojusi. That is to say, when you're in the market and you're trying to buy something, you focus on the person you're bargaining with.
Okay.
You will face where you're going and go to where you're facing. That way, you will get to your destination. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma. It's my privilege to ask you this question. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, Dr. Imade.
Okay, is there any other person in the house who have a question? Or in case you don't want to use the raise and you don't want to speak, you can put it in the chat box and I will read out. Okay, it looks like there's none with any question. APWEN President.
Yes, maybe we'll send out the poll.
Okay. So you're going to still poll now. We just expect you to give a feedback. Thank you.
All right, guys, help me understand what you're planning to do.
where
So
there's a poll. People are answering some questions. They are giving us feedback. Maybe something must be showing on your screen, yes. Or maybe because you're a co-host, it's not allowing you to feel. It's only showing you the results.
yes, she won't be able to see because she's also.
Yes, so it only help you to see. You can only see the results, but you'll be able to see you won't be able to feel because you're a co-host. You're not supposed to be a judge in your own case.
I don't plan to be that, you know.
So while we are responding to the poll, please let's try as much as possible to respond. Only 50% or about 45% of the participants have responded. So please, we would like every one of us to go ahead and respond.
Yeah, we would like everyone to fill the poll so that we can have a proper judgment of it.
Okay, and while we're doing that, there's a question in the house or maybe a comment. So I'm going to unmute the person, Engineer Bossede. You can go ahead and give your views. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Shegun. And thank you, Engineer Dr. Mrs. Patricia Opene-Odili, FNSA. I actually had to listen with rapt attention, even when there were so much distractions where I am. Mine is not a question, but a comment, and also to use this avenue to also appreciate your mentoring effort. I remember sometime 2 years ago when I approached you that I was moved from engineering to procurement. It looked like my engineering career was being diverted into where I never planned to be. But after having about 1.5 years in the contracts and procurement department, then I understood another dimension of what engineering is as a design engineer. I remembered calling you and almost crying to you. And you said so many things. Amongst every other thing you said, in every assignment, see the good, use the challenge to move ahead. Today and every other day, I want to appreciate you. Even though I'm back to engineering, that 1.5 years made a remarkable mark in my journey, in my career. And I'm better off as a design engineer with that experience. Thank you for giving that advice at that time.
I am so delighted that you found grace in doing that work. You know, I am super delighted. You remember one of the things I told you? I said, even if they turn you to the T girl of the organization today, whatever you do, I said, you would do it so well that everybody will want to become the T girl of the organization. And I'm glad you succeeded and you made me proud in that field as well. God bless you, really good, Bosse.
Thank you very much.
We still have just about 50% who have filled this form. People should please try and fill it.
You can look at the top of your screen if you're using a phone, and you'll see a poll in a green text written. Just click on the text in case it's not appearing, and you'll be able to have it. It displays on your screen and you can respond. It's just 2 questions. There is a chat, there's a comment, or I think it's a question on the group chat box. Is from Engineer Ineka Unwagugu. I'm sure every one of us can read it, but I could just take it again and say, is there any way engineers could collaborate with NYSC to stop posting graduate engineers into non-engineering firms? So I don't know if there's a feedback or there's any response to this.
I would say that there is no need asking NYSC not to post engineers to non-engineering firm. There's always a good side in everything. In the course of my work, okay, many years ago, I had this boss in 1997, 98, who, for him, women, go and be your document controllers or be something else. Just go and get out of this space for me. He was what's it called? Eastern Bloc, European Eastern Bloc man. I understood, I smiled. At the beginning, I was upset. I said, how dare you even try to treat me like that? But guess what? I set up the document control processes. I set up the filing system. I set up these things today in the organization. People actually beg to become document controllers because there's so much you learn. There is so much you get to know in doing every piece of work you're given. In the course of my work also, I became the liaison coordinator. What is liaison? You go and talk with your industry counterparts, you go and talk with government agencies, trying to bring forward your work to them and all that. Make sure you discuss all of the things you're doing technically with them so that they can approve your projects. There is no DYDS in that, but I did it with so much joy. My last job before I moved back to engineering, they won't let me go. I had to be screaming and kicking and yelling. I said, I have to go. They said, oh, we have not found a suitable replacement. I said, there's no such thing. I was the rep for the company out there. NMPC, NAPIMS, DPR, other government organizations. I was their darling. So there are so many things. Being an engineer is not about calculus. Being an engineer is also bringing to bear your soft skills, bringing to bear your people's skills. Those things, they enhance your personality and make you a much better person. They enhance your personality and you become a much better person. There's so much to learn from other people that can bring you to be that person that God has created you to be. So I will not do that. Other people may do that, but I won't do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. We have another question. So I'm just scrolling through. Okay. So this question is from, oh, sorry, it went off again. Okay, good. From Francis Ogunlowo. So it's possible he's an engineer, maybe Engineer Francis Ogunlowo. Did you ever feel intimidated by any man as an engineer?
Francis, thank you for that super question. I never felt intimidated. Let me tell you, I grew up in the midst of boys. And if you mess with me, I'm gonna kick your ass. Trust me on that. I'll tell you my first experience when I first got to QIT in 1990, because they didn't have women in their midst. Those guys never used to button their shirts. They just walk around, it's a field location. And then there was no toilet for women. I'm like, okay, so did you guys notice there's a woman in the house right now? And they thought I was joking. So when I go into the toilets, because there's several, you go through the main door and several toilets in there, I locked the main door. Because I told them, create a toilet for women. They did not listen. So I locked the main door and I go and have the 6 toilets to myself. So when I'm done, I come out and everybody's kicking and yelling. I just walk past them. And they went to report me to the superintendent. I said, sir, I don't have a problem with letting them share the toilet, but you got to carve out the one for the woman. Because I don't want to walk into the toilet and see those boys peeing all over the place. So they carved out, in 72 hours, they carved out a toilet for women. And I was happy. They're my brothers. I don't feel intimidated by any man at all. And I support as many men as walk to me and ask for my help and my support. I support. And I'm always there to make sure you become the best man you can ever be. So I'm not intimidated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Just for information, I can read a message on the chat box, and that's coming from, I'm sorry, I might not be able to pronounce the name very well, from Upele Beredugo. Yes, she said that he had an interaction with you as your MSc supervisor at Uniport. So just to inform you, the person is online as well. We would like to take a question from Engineer Imade again. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Please, before you call Engineer Imade, that is my #1 professor. That's my #1 professor, Professor Beredugo. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. I am always so proud to see you and happy to talk with you. He supervised my work, and tell you the truth, he's a great father. I love you always, and I'm always so proud to see you. Thank you. This is your product here. Thank you, sir.
There's also a question from one Inanga Daisy. She said, if you had to redo anything in pursuing your career, what would it be? And what would you have spent more time learning?
You know what? I've had so much fun in the engineering space. I've had so much fun. Yes, the starting part was rough, but as I got into the mainstream, I've enjoyed every part. Okay? One of the things that I see APWEN doing today is going to the schools and helping our children choose a career in engineering. There are a lot of kids who think they should be doctors or pharmacists who actually should be engineers. And I am so grateful for the engineering family and for APWEN, who is also going out there to make the girls know that they can do this. In the course of going out on behalf of APWEN, there's some young guys, young engineers working in my organization today. They're grateful because when we went to their school, they put all of them together. They didn't just separate the girls. They're grateful that we came to their school back in the days. And those meetings help them take informed decisions to become engineers today. They're young men and they're happy. The women too. So if I have to do it all over again, I'd rather have somebody tell me the truth from the beginning than to go through this long part of life. But in all, I've had fun and I'm grateful to God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Engineer Imade, you want to unmute yourself and speak now?
Okay. Thank you very much. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I want to say something. You know, in life, there's what we call connecting the dots to your destiny. Because I had a question where someone says NYC should stop maybe posting people to non-engineering firm. I want to say something today. That those non-engineering firm will actually give you an experience you will ever be grateful to God. And I want to also say, I'm fully in support with what my role model just said, Engineer Dr. Opene-Odili. And sincerely, with me, with what I've gotten in life today, is as a result of me being in those non-academic firms for over 14 years. So, and I also serve in Stacom Media in the accounting session. And we know we engineer, where we have problem is the aspect of what administration. So those non-academic firm or non-engineering firm, the NYS is posting the engineering to, is to also to equip them administratively so that they will be able to be established in the engineering. But however, I will advise that when you are there, don't lose focus. Because I was almost being converted to become an accountant by going to do an ICANN. But along the side, I said, no, I want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to be a researcher. Even if I'm here, I'm only counting times. I'm only gathering experience and knowledge. Believe me in you today, those are the things that makes me exceptional. To be a multidisciplinary researcher, you hardly see them anywhere in the world. But you cannot just be like in that state until you've gone through this integrity of some other basics, foundations that can help you to able to formulate things at the twinkle of an eye. So please, wherever you find yourself, like what my role model will say, make good use of it. And what my president will say, President Ojelade, we always say, time is precious. Do not waste it. So I want to encourage everybody in the house today, whether you're an engineer, don't lose focus wherever you are. And just believe that God placed you in that particular point to be trained for a better future. Thank you. I think I'm through now.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, we have a comment, so I would say it's a question from Ogenemine. I'm sorry if I didn't get that right. He or she said, with the high rate of unemployment, who will encourage job seeker? Then also, we have a question from, it's written in Inanga Daisy Fail. Said, if you had a redo, something in pursuing your career, what would it be? What would you have spent more time learning?
Engineer Shegun, I think she answered that because Engineer Jelade gave her that question.
Oh,
Yes, I read that question and she answered it already.
Okay, so we have Engineer Onyebuchi. You can unmute yourself, please, and speak. So I'm not sure she's, okay, we have Engineer Nneka. You can unmute yourself and speak, please. Oh, she lowered her hand. So I think that's all. Engineer Nneka,
There's a question from Mabel. There's a question from Mabel. There's a question from Mabel. Who? There's a question for Engineer Patricia from Mabel Namondo. Thank you for sharing today. Throughout your career, how did you overcome people doubting your skills?
Oh, thank you, Mabel. Doubting of skills. Let me tell you this. Even if you had a first class, There are haters and there are lovers. There are people, no matter what you do, they always have, oh, well, you know, oh, well, I should have done it better. Oh, well, you know, if I were this and that. Be comfortable in your skin. Don't let anybody in this whole wide world make you feel a lesser person than God has created you to be. I told you there was this book my auntie gave to me in 1978, Believe in Yourself. That book formed, or rather created, an indelible mark in me that to this day, I am very comfortable in my skin. You don't have to like me. But if we have work to do together, we have to do it. That's my policy. So there are haters that are lovers. Some will cast aspersions on what you do. Others will love you for what you're doing. But in all, keep your eyes on the goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Engineer Ineka, you want to unmute yourself and speak now?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ma. I sent a message, a question to make a comment, Ma. Based on asked on NYSC, supposing you are posted to a primary school, because I had that experience. When I was first posted, it was a primary school. Imagine an engineer posted in a primary school and to teach in a classroom where they teach all the subjects, including Igbo, French, all that I was referring to. That is well organized, that when you go there, you may man their office, create files and all that. Then you learn management. But in this case, primary or secondary school, what is going to be the engineer's fate? Thank you.
Engineer Neka, thank you so much. You remember NYC is just a short phase in your life. And I always say, wherever you go, you are the light that darkness has been waiting for. You have to shine. And you know the amazing part of what you just said? Primary school, these are young children. These young children, you know, that 1 year you're going to spend, 10 months to 1 year you're going to spend with them, can create an indelible mark in them. It can make or break them. Would you rather have vessels of honor unto God or vessels that are damaged for life? That's a decision you have to take. I will go back again. Wherever you find yourself, please let your light shine. Does not matter how many tasks that you've been assigned to do. Have discussion with the head of the school if it's, you know, if it's a situation where you are overloaded with tasks. Do the very best you can. But whatever you do, make sure those children are excited when you come into the classroom. Volunteer teaching. You know, we did that many years, you know, back in ExxonMobil. There's the school right opposite our office. Every time myself and my partner went into that class, those not in that class, they run into that class and they're all excited. And we spend time to teach them. Sometimes we don't even teach. We just sit with them and look through their books and help them with little things. It goes a long way, my girl. You don't know where the children are coming from. Many times, just you being there brings joy and laughter to them. Don't worry, you get posted, those of you who are still in school and you get posted to do NYC in a primary school or a secondary school, please do it diligently. And those little souls will continue to pray for you. And their little prayers, tell you, the big God hears it and he will bless you for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Engineer Ojelade, you want to go ahead for me?
Yes, I just want to once again appreciate the 8th APWEN President, Engineer Dr. Patricia Opene-Odili. We're immensely grateful for sharing your struggles with us. And I want to believe that everyone will have got something from this and be inspired. That is actually our aim in organizing this. We want you to hear somebody's story and then learn from it so that you can make your own life better. And by this, we've come to the end of today's session. We thank you very much and I wish you a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all. And I thank you all for taking time to listen to this girl. Thank you all. God bless you. Really good. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too. Have a great weekend, big girl.